Thank you. My name is Rebecca once again, and I am from Kemi Business School. My presentation is about the sustainability puzzle. Thank you. I grew up in a smallholder farming community in Uganda, where we grew all our food using indigenous practices. In my community, everyone was like an expert. They knew every plant by name and could interpret weather patterns. They had a solution for everything. For example, Mom would pound some herbs, mix with water, spray her garden, and that was her pesticide. Our practices were dictated by our circumstances. A typical household was one crop cycle failure away from absolute poverty. Hence our indigenous innovations to counter this threat and ensure our food security. I later worked with Uganda's Ministry of Agriculture as knowledge management specialist. I was part of a team that could contribute to policy development on sustainable agriculture. But my role brought a new reality. The indigenous knowledge of farming communities like mine was not accounted for or consulted in our policy discussions. Instead, we focused on agriculture commercialization. I was tasked to develop knowledge on investment and industrialization on agriculture. This disconnect between the knowledge coveted by our policymakers and the knowledge of our smallholder farming communities inspired my research instinct. My research explores how the agriculture sustainability discussion can be inclusive of all knowledge types. After all, what is sustainability without food security? In my empirical studies, I interacted with diverse agriculture actors in Uganda. I found that this disconnect is not just with policymakers and farmers, but with all other agriculture actors. The indigenous knowledge of our farming communities is considered inefficient, outdated, or merely based on mysticism by private sector players, technical specialists, and policymakers. Farmers also disregard the knowledge from these guys. They don't want to deal with it. International development partners are keen on supporting the agriculture sector, but farmers think they are always advocating for unrealistic practices. The private sector agribusiness players are in it for the money, not the environment or social concerns. So we have diverse groups of actors, each group in its own bubble, with limited knowledge sharing across the bubbles. I am developing a knowledge management framework within which these actors can share, evaluate, and collectively develop context-specific knowledge on sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture is like this puzzle. The pieces are the diverse knowledge held by the different actors. Every piece matters. Thank you.